Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So the fixtures for the championship season have been released for a good number of days now. I've not given my reaction to those fixtures. If you do want me to do a separate video talking about the 25-26 fixtures, let me know in the comments. But today, I am getting really excited for the season starting, and I actually already want to jump ahead to see what sort of movements we could be seeing in the early stages in the championship. I'm going to start a new chain of videos called What Will the Table? And today we're going to do what will the table look like after 4 rounds of championship games. We can honestly do this for the Prem, League 1, League 2, even like any league internationally. I could see a lot of videos that can be done doing this format. Now, I will say this is not an entirely original format from me. I'm going to give a shout out to Callum Fowler and I'm going to give a shout out to Matt SB, who both have done similar videos like this on their channels recently. So I don't want to go around and saying that this is a wholly unique idea. And to show my appreciation, I'm going to link both of their channels in the description down below so you can check out those videos for your own enjoyment too. But today, I'm actually going to cover the first 4 games, as I said. So reason being is that after those 4 games, we'll have a break. An international break to be precise, where the table will stand still for a good amount of times, and then during that break, instead of waiting around football to come back, we'll go back and react to this video to see, was I close with any of these teams, or what teams did I get wrong? And then lo and behold, I could do another follow-up video and predict the next couple of games that will happen in terms of the table before the next international break as well, which I think it's 4 games for the first international break, and then it's another 5 games before the second international break. So I could see this being a really good reoccurring video series. If you guys like that idea, let me know in the comments down below and I will put all my effort to keep the series going. And I can already think of some spicy ideas to actually get more leagues involved in this format. If you guys like what you see, please smash the like button. It really does help. I think 30 likes will be tremendously appreciated. It really does help. If you can hit the subscribe button too, it also really helps the growth of this channel, as well as we're trying to climb up from 3,000 subscribers. We're doing pretty well at the moment, so thank you guys so much for the amazing support. So guys, I'm going to shout out another couple of people. It's another video, so more people are getting recognized for subscribing to the channel. I'm going to give a shout out to Mark Strong, 7915 Thomas, Wenger, Peter Grave, Vincent Lim, Adesina Adenyi, Muinza Maliko Muini, Peter Rock, Emil 250, Kenny Joe, Leighton Winnes, Jenny Hay, Your Local Jake, and John Russell. Thank you all of you for the amazing support as of always. It really does not go unnoticed, and as you can see, I really truly appreciate it. And if you could share this video and this channel too, it really helps. But without any further ado, let's predict the first 4 rounds in the championship, and let's see what table I think will happen for the championship. So to start things off, this is the opening set of championship fixtures for the 25-26 season. So you see your fixtures here, and there is a table down there. And if we did do a random result, let's say Wrexham get an unbelievable away win against Southampton, you can see, bang, the table actually changes and Wrexham jump ahead of everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the first 4 games, or game weeks I should specify, and then we'll see what the table looks and we'll discuss if we agree or disagree. So my early thoughts of Birmingham Ipswich, this is one of the worst games Ipswich could have had at the opening game of the season. I mean, Birmingham are going to be so up for this. I see Birmingham winning this on the opening day of the season. Charlton and Watford, I think this is not a bad game for Charlton to start things off. It's been 4 to 5 years since they've been absent from the championship. Watford, they've got a new manager in Pezzolano, which might take time for them to gel. I'm going to say Charlton sneak a 1-0 home win. Coventry and Hull. Coventry got a good record against Hull, haven't they? I'm going to say a narrow 2-1 win to Coventry at the moment. I'm liking their squad a little bit more. Hull is an interesting one. They could be a wild card for some good things coming on into their seasons. But again, new manager, Jakirovic. So again, I'm sensing that they could be quite slow off the mark. But I don't know. They could prove me wrong. Southampton, Wrexham. I mean, this could be an unbelievable game. I see goals. I'm going to say 4-2 to Southampton. Middlesbrough and Swansea. So Middlesbrough, of course, with Robert Edwards at the moment now. And Swansea, Sheehan having his first full season. A draw would not be surprising, you know. I'm actually going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Norwich and Millwall. Interesting. Millwall, I think, will still be difficult to break down. Norwich, I think, will be majorly improved, I think. But will they be a little bit slow off the mark with Liam Manning? That's my question. I'm also going to say a draw. Oxford and Portsmouth. I'm going to say a draw here too. So going through a couple of streak of draws at the moment. QPR and Preston. I think I'm going to go for a QPR win. I'm liking QPR at the moment. They got Kwame Poku quite recently. I'm really enjoying the players that they're getting in. Stoke and Derby. Does this have a 0-0 draw written all over this one? I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. It will either be a 0-0 or like one of the teams by winning by 1-0, I think. West Brom Blackburn next. I feel like Ryan Mason might get into a good start here. I'm going to say 2-1 West Brom. Sheffield United and Bristol City. Interesting. I'm going to go 2-0 Sheffield United. Leicester, Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, who knows what Sheffield Wednesday are going to be by next month. I mean, 10th of August. Feels like weeks away, but it's only 5 weeks, and they're in a position now where lots of their players are free agents, and players, can give 14 days notice before they start leaving the club. I mean, it's a terrible situation for Sheffield Wednesday. Leicester themselves could see themselves in difficulty with points deductions looming, but I think Leicester are going to want to start really big off the mark because of recuperating those points. I'm going to say 4-0 to Leicester, and Sheffield Wednesday fans will probably want to look away, which I don't blame them for. Right, game week 2, Blackburn, Birmingham. 1-1, I'm going to say for that one. Bristol City and Charlton. I think Bristol City will get a win here. Derby, Coventry. Ooh. I'm predicting here that Derby could win this one. I'm going to say 1-0 to Derby, actually. The sneaky feeling that Derby might be really good at home this year. They had Danny Batt and Andre Weimann just signed for them quite recently. They look like they're looking to try and get more. I'm liking the strength of depth of Derby's squad at this moment of time. Hull and Oxford. This already feels like a very big game to start off the season. And you know what? I'm going to go for an Oxford win. I actually think they could sneak an away win here. Ipswich, Southampton. These are the two favourites for me. Going head-to-head already at this stage of the season. It's so tough to call, I'm going to say Ipswich might edge it. 2-1. Close, though. Millwall and Middlesbrough. That's really, really tough for Millwall to have Norwich and then followed by Middlesbrough. A draw wouldn't surprise me. Gosh, this is a tough one. Let me go back to that one. Portsmouth and Norwich. Let's say Portsmouth get their first win at Fratton Park here. Preston, Leicester. I think Leicester might edge out. I'm going to say 2-1. Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke. This is a tough one here. But I say an opportunity for Sheffield Wednesday to get a point. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Swansea and Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United can win this one 2-1. Let me go back to that Millwall Middlesbrough one. This is a tough one. I'm going to go draw. I can't make my mind up. In all honesty. Watford and QPR. two new managers going head to head. Let's say a draw. And then Wrexham and WBA, West Brom. I'm going to say that's a draw too. Not 22. We want 2-2. Birmingham, Oxford. I think Birmingham can beat Oxford here by 3-1. I think Birmingham at St Andrews are going to be a fortress to be reckoned with. Charlton and Leicester. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlton could get a point, you know. I'm going to go 1-1. Coventry and QPR. I'm going to go 2-1 Coventry here. Derby, Bristol City. I'm going to go 2-1 Bristol City this time. Hull and Blackburn. Yeah, tough one this. Ishmael, how are Blackburn going to be looking at this stage? I have a feeling Hull might be in a better position at this moment of time. But, I mean, again, we're looking a load of weeks ahead, so it's hard. But I'm going to say 2-0 Hull. Norwich, Middlesbrough. God, this is tough. This already... I've got to say, both Norwich and Middlesbrough have got a really tough start to the season. I tell you that. They've got to play each other, and they both have Millwall within their opening couple of games as well. Oof, my blimey. So, God, tough on this. What do I go for here? Norwich, I think, will be better going forward, but Middlesbrough... again, I might go back to that one. Preston, Ipswich. I'm going to say 2-0 Ipswich for that one. Sheffield United, Millwall. I'm going to say a draw, 1-1. Southampton, Stoke. I'm going to say a 2-0 win to Saints. Swansea, Watford. I see this ending in a draw. West Brom, Portsmouth. I'm going to say 2-1 West Brom. Wrexham, Sheffield Wednesday already feels like a crucial game. And I'm going to go for a win for Hollywood Wrexham. 2-0. Norwich, Middlesbrough. I'm going to go 2-1 Norwich. Now, this is the final game week before we have an international break. It feels ridiculous we have an international break only after 4 games, but it is what it is. That's what we've got to deal with. So, Blackburn, Norwich. Who knows? Could Blackburn sneak a result? Let's go for a draw. 1-1 draw. Bristol City and Hull. I'm going to go for another draw here. Ipswich Derby. Oh, tough one. I think, yeah, this will be a tough one, you know. I'm going to say 2-1 again. Leicester, Birmingham. I think Leicester could beat... or could they beat Birmingham? No, I think they will at home. Middlesbrough, Sheffield United. I'm actually going to say a Middlesbrough win in this one. Millwall, Wrexham. I'm going to say Millwall win this one by 2-0. Oxford, Coventry. This feels like a huge game, and I'm going to go for a draw in this one, I think. Coventry typically do not start the season that well, and I feel like we could see a couple of silly points being dropped from them already at this stage of the season. Portsmouth and Preston. I'm actually going to go for a North End win here. Yeah, I'm going to go for a rare Preston win. QPR, Charlton. This is an interesting one. A London derby, of course. But I think it'll favour QPR. I think QPR could start quite well. They've got a nice run of games, QPR, at the moment, for me. Sheffield Wednesday, Swansea. I think Swansea will win this one 3-1. Stoke, West Brom. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to West Brom. And then Watford, Southampton. 2-1 Southampton. Let me just check all the other games before I calculate. Am I happy with this? I mean, I've done it now. It feels like now that I've done it, I should see what the table looks like. Am I going to make any changes? No, why should I? I've done the first 4 games. So then after Watford play Southampton or whatever the later game's going to be, because they've not decided the Sunday or Monday kickoff of whichever one of those games is going to be. When that game is concluded, the table will stand still for about 2 weeks and we'll have a glass to see how the teams start. And I can officially say, with all my predictions the table will look like this. So this will be the championship table after 4 game weeks and 48 games of the season. Let's scroll down to the top 6. I'm going to try and shut my eyes and see who they are. So, top 6 looks like this. Sheffield United are in there, joint with Queen's Park Rangers. That's probably the shocker, actually, in that list at this moment of time. Queen's Park Rangers being in there, but I do think they've got a good round of games to start the season. Ipswich, 4th, that seems about right to me. Southampton with 9 points. And then West Brom actually staying undefeated. So what do West Brom have? They got Stoke there. Have I predicted any shocking results? Portsmouth, yeah, I think they could beat them. And then what's their game there? Wrexham. I mean, yeah, Wrexham will be a tough one, but I think they could get a result. And then obviously then they start the season with Blackburn. So yeah, West Brom, I think to me, actually have a pretty nice set of games to start off the season. And then it's Leicester who are at the top of the table, but you can see here no team winning their first 4 games, so everyone dropping at least 2 points in their opening 4 games. So if we go to the rest of the top half of the table, it looks like this. So, interestingly enough, it is Birmingham who are just outside of the top 6. And in fact, they're drawing in goal difference with Coventry and Bristol City. So it's quite congested in that part of the table where 9th and 5th place are on the same amount of points. Then Millwall 1 point behind, Swansea and Norwich making up the top half. I got to say, I actually don't think that's too bad of a shout at this moment of time. Maybe Bristol City's a little bit higher for what people are thinking, but you can't underestimate how good that squad is already, and Gerard Struber is an experienced manager at this level. So I think, maybe with the exception of Bristol City and maybe QPR West Brom being as high as they are, this is sort of what I would have expected within the first couple of game weeks of the season. So now let's go through to 13th down to 18th, I'm going to say. So let's stop it around here. So, Middlesbrough are joint on points with Norwich and Swansea. So technically, due to their goal difference, they're not any higher. But still only 2 points of the players. Oxford are up at 14th with 1 win and 2 draws with only 1 defeat. I feel like Oxford, for a lot of people are going to predict them to go down, but I am basing their results based on their form that they showed at the end of last season. I do think Oxford will be tough to break down. I don't think they'll get many wins. You've seen I've only predicted them to win once in their opening 4, but don't be surprised if they are set up in a way that means that they don't lose many games. So maybe that'll be a shock to people that I predicted Oxford as high as that, but again, I'm not massively surprised. Hull and Portsmouth just below them with Derby and Wrexham a little bit below them there. And I've got to say again, I'm actually not too disappointed with this table at the moment. Am I being a bit deluded to say that this table to me is actually quite realistic on the most part? I think a lot of people will, as I say, go for Oxford to be down there. But I feel like, again, 4 games doesn't really tell the whole story, but momentum is a very important factor. So what I'm going to do now, obviously we've got 19th, 20th and 21st and then the bottom 3. I'm going to cover my eyes and scroll the rest of this table around here. So 19th, we've got Charlton just above the bottom 3. I think they'd take that 4 points from their first 4 games. Preston are down there. Now, that might be a little bit of a shock. Preston have made a couple of signings at this moment of time. Yeah, I think Preston are a little bit too low. I'm sorry, Preston fans. I think, yeah, that's a little bit too low. 3 defeats. I mean, is it a massive shock? I mean, I got them to win against Portsmouth, actually, but then 3 defeats elsewhere. So I said, okay, well, Ipswich is a tough one. Leicester's tough. And then QPR. Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, yeah, Preston's home games are quite tough to face Leicester and Ipswich in the opening 2 home games there. Then Watford. I mean, part of that, I think, is going to be me with Watford being quite an unknown entity at this moment in time with Pezzolano coming in. Blackburn and Stoke on 2 points are in the bottom 3. So, in fact, there's 4 teams that have not picked up a win. Watford, Blackburn, Stoke and Sheffield Wednesday. I actually think that's not too bad of a prediction again, to be fair. I think we will have a number of teams still looking for their first win by 4 games in. And then, probably by no surprise, the team that is rock bottom is Sheffield Wednesday with 1 measly point. And already with 10 goals conceded and a -8 goal difference. I mean, if it is going to be that, you know, the only thing that will change it is if some significant movement happens for the positive for Sheffield Wednesday. Stoke in the bottom 3 is also a little bit surprising potentially, but Mark Robins, you know, in the past has not started seasons well with Coventry. Maybe Stoke will get something similar like that as well. But yeah, I mean, Blackburn, you know, got tough. You know, they've got Norwich there. They've got Hull. I mean, maybe they could get a result against Hull. Hull's a bit of a 50-50 one there. And then Birmingham, maybe they did get a draw, to be fair. And then West Brom, yeah, it's a tough one there. And then for Stoke's point of view, Derby, maybe they could get a win for that one. Again, I'm just going by a boring draw at the moment. Maybe Stoke could edge that one. Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, the fact that I didn't predict Stoke to beat either Sheffield Wednesday or Derby, maybe a little bit harsh on them there. And then, yeah, losing to Southampton, and then that's followed by losing to West Brom. So, yeah, I feel like some teams have been a little bit harsh on. So Stoke and Preston, I'm really, really sorry. I think certainly, based on those games, maybe I've been a bit more pessimistic of your chances, but I'm just really going by instinct at this moment of time. So, guys, to summarise, I'm showing the full championship table that I'm predicting from predicting the first 4 game weeks. Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke and Blackburn finding themselves in the bottom 3. The only other side to not pick up a point is Watford, according to my predictions here. Every other side has picked up at least 1 win. Charlton just above the bottom 3. Wrexham only just above Charlton as it stands. Birmingham quite significantly above them, but only by 3 points. They are just below the top 6, joining on points with Coventry. They are the side narrowly missing out. Sheffield United, Queen's Park Rangers, Ipswich and Southampton make up the top 6. Then, of course, at the top will be Leicester and West Brom, and likely it'll be West Brom because, as I said, Leicester will very likely have a points deduction at this stage of the season. So, fancy that, West Brom being top of the table in the opening 4 games. Who would have predicted me predicting West Brom to be top? Let me know if I'm being crazy with my predictions in the comments down below. But honestly, this is so accessible. It's a table calculator. I'd like you guys to do this as well. And I'll be really interested to see what sort of table you get from predicting the first 4 games before we have an international break. So again, guys, I'll reiterate, this is not an original idea. Shout outs to Callum Fowler and Matt SB for doing this video concept before I've done. But if you guys do want to see more variations, like different leagues, different amount of games, all sorts of different perks, let me know in the comments down below and I will consider making more videos of that. Because honestly, very easy to record, and actually I've really enjoyed myself predicting that. It's already got me really excited to do my official predictions yet. I'm not going to do my official predictions yet. You're going to have to wait very patiently for me to do those. But what I will be doing is that this video will be revisited by, you know, game week 4 being concluded. And we'll see how close I was to the actual table. So that wraps it up. If you guys enjoyed, please smash the like button. It really does help the growth of this channel. Please do hit the subscribe button too, as we're trying to push on from 3,000 subscribers to maybe get to 4,000 subscribers. That'll be absolutely amazing. And please also share the channel too. All of that really helps. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary for signing this video. And as always, I can see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.